Brad Williams, Excel Prime, lookup category by member age. Straightforward. We're going to use the lookup function, a traditional format. We're not going to throw that lookup of 2 at you. We're actually going to look something up here, and then we're going to follow up with the lookup vector and the result vector. But before we do that, we have to figure out a member age. We have a birth date over here. Amongst our list, we have member, birth date, and then here are our results. We're going to have a list over here where we've categorized. Anyone under the age of 16 is going to be category less than 16. That'll be the output. 16 up to 30, they'll be in that 16 to 30 category. And so on and so forth. We have name ranges, member 728. We're going to go H5 to H9. We have name ranges, member age 728 equals H5 to H9 right here. Category I5 to I9. We're going to show one example under category using cell references, then the other with name ranges. How do we get the member age? Well, we're going to use today's date minus C5. We're going to divide that by 365. It's going to give us today minus, and it's going to be a serial number, you know that, and then we're just going to divide it by 365. Piece of cake. Okay, in terms of finding and categorizing a member by age, use the lookup function. And here it is. We have a lookup value, and it's not 2. It's going to be D5. It'll be 62. We have a lookup vector. We're going to use this age. Intuitively, what are we going to look up? We're going to look up age. And then from there, the resultant vector is going to give us, well, it's going to categorize based on this requirement. Now remember that the lookup function just uses an approximate match. It's sort of quasi-guessing. Anything over 61 in this case is going to be 61 or above. You get into this mid-range. I'm trying to find something. Is there anything that is close to the breakpoint? You know where that breakpoint is. Does it break at 29.5? Or if you find something that's questionable, then play around with the numbers. Get as close to the breakpoint as possible. 30.5, is it 30.5 or 30.99, the breakpoint? You could see the difference. If you're at 16.1 and it's throwing you over into the 16 to 30 bracket, that's a huge gap. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. D5, well, we know what D5 is. That's going to be the age. Our H5, again, is this name range and then category. And hence 61. So if we want to take a peek, this is pretty straightforward. We're not dividing anything here. We're not looking for a bunch of odd and div errors and what have you. All we're doing is 16, 31, 46, 61. Our lookup vector and our result vector is F9. Our D5 is going to be 62, and the lookup is going to go 62. See, that's above 61, so it's going to be in this category. That'll be 1, 2, that'll be number 5, and then the result vector just goes to number 5. Sort of like index match. Let's find something a little more interesting. We have D7, which is 30. Let's look up our lookup vector, F9. And here we have 16, 31, 46, 31. You're going to get an approximate match, unless it's an exact age. And we're not in an exact age, and therefore we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the result vector is F9. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. Is it? Or is it number 2, 16 to 30? Because this is saying 16 to 30, it's an exact match. I was just looking at 16. Sorry, I didn't look at this second. It's going to go 16 to 30. Answer my own question. I was looking here, and I wasn't looking at the category section. Other than that, it's straightforward. Read the overview if you need to. If you need it, read it. If any of this looks overwhelming, tear this thing apart, piece by piece. And then lastly, all I did is I entered the name ranges. If the category ranges drive you crazy, use this format. Whatever floats your boat, whatever works for you. It took me forever to start integrating the name ranges. But once I started, I said nay on this stuff, okay? Just because it's just so much easier to follow. Brad Williams, Excel Prime.